Hi, guys.
Are you hearing? Joshi? Elitza?
Yeah, hi.
Antoinette? And Ushena? Hello, everybody. So what is the question? He asked us to mention conscious and not conscious leadership. Is it right?
Yes, I think so.
So what do you think about that? Did you have an idea about conscious leadership? What does that mean? What can we place in what skills or what can be considered as a conscious leadership?
Well, I was thinking that the way I understand it, the conscious leader is somebody who is aware to their responsibility to serve. So they seek a way to improve, for example, by asking for feedback, or yeah, feedback is basically what I thought of. But yeah, he's conscious for me is feeling aware and responsible, and unconscious, you might be a leader in your community without going for that, just people to respect you a lot. But yeah, again, you can serve, but you are not using it as an opportunity to grow per se.
Okay. So I think same thing. Maybe conscious leadership, when someone maybe know that he is responsible of people or is at the top of a team, and he have tasks or tasks to do. He knew about the tasks that he must do. Not conscious. I don't know. Maybe it can be someone who is trying, maybe not trying to lead the team, or not trying to be at the head of his team.
Yeah. So I would say, just to add, I'm sorry, I would say it has two aspects: whether you want to be a leader, and
or you don't want.
whether you use it as a growth opportunity. That would be conscious.
You mean follower? Just a follower? Okay. Okay, I think that we have to go back to the main session. So nice to meet you. It was nice to meet you, all of you.
Are we over? Oh.
So we have 40 seconds. There is someone? Is there someone who want to add a new idea?
Antoinette has written in the chat.
Antoinette?
Has written in the chat.
Okay. So we have to see what Antoinette said. Antoinette said, a leader that can make a difference. Conscious leader knows he or she was elected or chosen and actually wanted that role. Okay.
I agree with that.
Yes, I agree too.
To fill a bath.
Oh no, it's tough going. I had a friend say to me recently, if I wanted to be a teacher, I would have become a teacher.
Yeah. That's
now I see I have lots of lovely people popping up in front of my screen. So thank you very much for joining us from the big breakout rooms. I hope you enjoyed them. For those who have just joined in the last few moments, you are very welcome. Joe, I'll pass over to yourself. I'm sure if we can help at all, do let us know.
Thank you. Thanks, guys, for doing the exercise. The reason why I asked you to do the exercise is because it's important for ourselves to be leaders. And most people, when they think about being a leader, it's about getting things right, making the right decisions. And a lot of people, when they make decisions because of judgment calls that they have to make there and then. And when people make decisions, sometimes subconsciously in the back of their mind, they are actually making them about what's in it for me? How can I benefit from this? But a conscious leader will make decisions on being curious and what's in it for the greater good. What's in it for the greater good? Stepping away when making that decision that what's in it for me, myself, but what's in it for the greater good. Being curious and willing to learn. And they are the simple ways of how to be a conscious leader. The world, as we know, and I'm sure you've heard this 100 times, and I'm a bit sick to death with it at the moment, where we say the new world or the new order or things are changing. Things are not changing. Only what we see externally are changing. But what really matters is what we are internally. And over the last 13 weeks, at the beginning of this, there was excitement and there was fear. The new norm. Yes, Catherine, you're right. What is the new norm? But in the beginning, it was that excitement and fear, and it was lockdown. And then as the process went on, we saw people seeing opportunities. And then we saw people resentment. There was people resenting people for doing one thing or not doing one thing. Or as part of JCI or working in business, there was people saying to me, will I miss the boat? Do I need to do something now or I'll miss the boat, or will I need to plan later on? And as time went on, we started to really understand who we are and what we are about. And there was a process going along. 1 week we'll have fear, 1 week we'll have doubt, another week we'll accept things. Reflection, compassion, community, and gratitude were the items that came up for me in my mind. And as things move along, there's a stillness and an acceptance. And a conscious leader, we need more conscious leaders now than ever before. These are people who look and feel and understand what's going on in the world. And forget about what's going on outside, but remember what's going on inside. Because we all can be see no evil, hear no evil. and looking around. So how do we change and how do we make better decisions in our life and in our business? I would like to ask a couple of people if they could share what they felt was a conscious leader and what was a non-conscious leader in their breakout groups. Can I have 2 or 3 people that maybe would be willing to share what they came up with? If they can chat, is good. Chatting will be a lot quicker. If they want to unmute themselves, raise a hand.
Hi, this is Ali from GCI Paris. I would speak for room number 2, and we've come up rapidly with some ideas regarding conscious leader. They are people who know they know they are let's say they are conscious leader. They know they are leaders. They are willing to do things. They do it by the book. That's to say, they read a lot of books regarding leadership, for example, or they get it from school or from their field of work. It depends of regarding their background. And they know the house, and they are into actions, but willingly. The unconscious leader, it was, let's say, more we were gotten by the time, so we just talked about they are, let's say, naturally, I would not say they are born with this gift, but when there are things, they step in unconsciously, so they naturally step into actions and do the ideas. And as you commented, they feel the need, so they are willing to, unwilling this time, to help people by need.
Excellent, excellent, perfect. Anyone else? Anyone else?
There are 2 comments in the chat. Oh.
Yeah, hello, I'm Justina from JCI Galway, and I'm from breakup group at night. And then I want to share about the conscious leader. We think that she may be a people-focused person, and she is very conscious of what she said or what she behaved may bring the influence to their teammates. And she's always very supportive, very responsible and helpful, and an active listener. And she is publicly very considerate. And for the unconscious leader, she may be more self-centered. That means she always behave or say something without caring about other people, and she didn't pay any attention to the others' feeling, and not very responsible, and don't like to listen. They just want to express what they feel. Yeah, and so that's our conclusion.
Excellent. Okay, can we get one more? Can we get one more?
Hi. This is. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Now, I was in a group. I joined quite late, so I don't know what the group number was. But we did mention like a conscious leader is somebody who is intentional in their actions. They're quite aware of themselves, and also
Have we lost?
I think I was just muted.
Oh, okay, sorry.
1 second. Yes. So yes, quite intentional, has a vision, and just has a clear path of how things should be run. But I think a big part of it is being self-aware as a conscious leader, and unconscious is probably on the opposite side. They're probably more robotic in the approach, not really aware of themselves or the team, and things just happen. They're not really planned. They just, you know, they go with the flow, and whatever happens, happen. Whereas we think an intentional person, conscious person is, you know, they see the bigger picture.
Perfect. Thank you very much, everyone, for your input. I'd like to say that you're all right. And I'd like to say that we, probably about 80% of the time, we live in a conscious, unconscious mind, that we are moving along. And when you're making decisions, it takes practice. It takes a lot of time to really sort of switch into that conscious mind and that awareness. That knee-jerk reaction that sometimes someone says to us or says or does something, that we just jump in and we speak without thinking. We also, when we're making decisions within our careers or we're making moves within a company, it's always going, am I making the right decision? Is people going to doubt me? The majority of people in a lot of companies live unconsciously. And in the leaders as well, there's anxiety, there's doubt, and there's fear that makes them make the next decision. And it's about, even when working within a group, fearful that you might say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. Example, have we had great days where we've had 100 people tell us wonderful things about ourselves, and one person will say, oh, that was stupid, or you're an idiot, or you're a fool. And for the rest of that day, that will play on you what that one person said, and the rest of the people, all the compliments you ignore. And that's because that's just slipping into that unconscious mind. Other elements when making a decision are how can you get better within your organization or in your company to be a more conscious leader. There's one thing that we can all do and can make a huge impact. Stop gossiping. Stop gossiping about people within the organization. Stop having that little chat with John or Susan or Fiona about Michael or Tom who did something or does something. Because all that does within an organization is build a bad feeling. If someone is gossiping or someone is bitching about someone, is it not better for them to confront that person and say, look, I have an issue with what you're doing at the moment, or there's something that concerns me and I'd like to address it. Companies that take a conscious decision within the organization thrive. People that care about everyone in the organization build a better culture. Look what's happening to ourselves at the moment. And a better culture in an organization does really, really bring better leaders. Normally we spend more waking hours in work than we do anywhere else. We do come home, we do go to sleep, but more of us spend more time in our working environments. And those working environments are living organisms. We may have a brand called Breakthrough Brands or JCI or, you know, McDonald's or wherever it may be. That's just a name. But behind that organization are human beings, people that care. Someone said, please use your microphone. Someone's texting me there. Can people hear me? Okay. But they're live organizations. They're people that really care about everyone. So a living organism are the people behind a company and everyone that cares about each other and thrives. So when making a decision, it's about making a decision about collective, everybody. And as I said before, we're all right. Every decision that we make, every thought that we have, everything that we do, everybody is correct. And the reason why we're correct is because it's of our education, it's of our upbringing, it's of our social stance in this world. The only time that things do not become is when you try to push
your opinion or your belief on someone else, instead of meeting them halfway in a meaningful discussion. And that's what really counts, and that's what matters. It's all about being curious, learning, and making decisions for the greater good. There's one exercise I get to do, and I get to ask everybody to do that I meet. And when I do talks, it's this as well. And some of you, if you've ever listened to me speak before, it's about your values. And what are your values? And what do you stand for? And I ask people all the time to pick 6 to 7 values that represent them as a person. Because when you understand what your values are, it gives you a step forward to really feel and know who you are. What are my values? My values are spirituality, love, happiness, transparency, ethic, family. What are yours? What are your values? We're going to break you out into a breakout room now in a couple of seconds. And I want you just to discuss among yourselves or write down 6 to 7 values, no more, of what you feel represents you as a person. Because when you have values, it connects with you in here. And that's what makes you the person that you are. So if it's okay, get that sheet of paper, flip it over the other side, write down at the top of it, my values represent me as a person today. And write down 6 to 7 values that you believe are you. If we can do that now, it would be great.
Perfect. Laura is just assigning everyone to the breakout room, so it'll take a moment. For those of you who aren't familiar with it,
Hello again.
Hi.
Same room. Okay. So what about your values? Who want to speak?
I was surprised, honestly, that they want us to do that in groups, because this is something like,
Yes.
write it on a piece of paper.
Maybe just to share.
Well, I have done similar exercises before, so I can share mine. Mostly, like my 5 top values are proactivity, responsibility, creating impact, critical thinking, and education.
Mine, I didn't. I'm just thinking again more about, but I can add integrity, responsibility, honesty, Family is also important for me. Service. We can service to others.
Yeah, that's a good one. I would just guess here, but I suppose that being proactive or like active citizen and serving the others should be our common values as JCI members anyway. So
Yes. Good listener.
I can see that you always let us first.
We can guess it. That is. Sorry? Handley. And yes, good. It's Handley. That's it. And you think what else? Yoshi? Your name is Yoshi or Kushal? Okay. You are from Nepal. Nice to meet you. I'm from Tunisia. And Elitsa, you are from Bulgaria.
Yes.
Okay, nice to meet you.
I think Walid, we have met somewhere, but I don't remember. Not sure where. Maybe in Tallinn, if you have been there.
I've been in Vienna in 2005. I've been in. I'm an old GCI member.
Yeah, you just look very familiar, and I think we have talked before, but I just can't remember where.
Maybe with Lars, you've been.
Where?
No, with Lars in the Friday opportunity. No.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay, so we met there.
Yeah, probably so.
Well, okay, we should go back to the room.
Yep.
Main room. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. But hold on just for another moment as I see people popping back from their breakout rooms. Wonderful. I think we have everyone back, Joe. You always lose one or two en route, but that's okay.
That's okay. Part of life. Part of life indeed. Okay. Is everyone back out of their group rooms? Or they? Okay. Thanks everybody for doing that. I can see.
The reason why I asked again was for you to write down your values, because a lot of people don't know what their values are or what they represent. I found a long time ago when I decided to make a decision of what my values were. When I look at them and they change from time to time, they resonate with who I am. And I want these values to represent you, because moving forward, you will then become into them. It starts with putting them on paper. It's starting to look at them and saying, this is me. And as time goes on, you'll become them and you'll become a better person because these are your values. What I would like to do again, I want to say if 3 people can share their values with the group to tell us what their 6, 7 values are. Can we get maybe 3 people to do this, please?
If you want, you can unmute yourself if someone wants to speak directly. I hear noise, but just general.
Hi, everyone. This is Carol. I'm from JCI Honduras. And my main value is compassion. I work for a humanitarian aid organization, and that's my main motivator. It's what drives me. Also, my other values are respect, love, service, responsibility, perseverance, and commitment.
Tell me, when you say them, do they resonate with you inside here?
Yes, absolutely.
Good.
Yeah, this is actually something that I was thinking about before, so yeah.
I'm glad. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. One more? 2 more? Or one?
Yes, I'm emotional.
Hi.
Sorry. I want to be first.
Pearl, do you want to go ahead? I think it was yourself who I saw.
Okay, so I just read in the comments, and mine is quite similar to this GC creed. It's mentioning spirituality, transparency, being supportive or helpful to others, quality in the work we do, and also being responsible for the things that I'm given to.
Excellent. Very good. Very good. And you feel them. That's what it's again, I'll say it's important that you feel these resonate with you instead of just saying them as words, because if these are just words, they're no good. When you feel them, you become them. Can we get one more?
Hi, this is Ramakrishna. Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, this is Rama from JCI India. I belong to chat room number 7, and values we discussed are honesty, integrity, kindness, humanity, friendship, family, education means continuous learning. Yep, thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Can we get a lady? Or...
Oh, hi. Hello?
Hello, how are you?
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. I feel like it's Eurovision Song Contest where we're coming through going, hello, this is Bulgaria.
Hi.
2 points to Ireland.
This is Phil. I'm JCI Dublin member. Basically, I just wanted to say that to be a conscious leader, the first thing that really popped into my mind was to have empathy, because if you can't put yourself in anybody's shoes, how are you going to be able to understand them and to lead them? And then my second one was honesty. It's very important to be honest. And then the third one was to be authentic. Appear as yourself. Be you.
Be you, yeah.
Yeah, and then the fourth one was respect. It's very important to respect each other, because if we don't respect each other, how are you going to really feel that my idea is it's great, or it's something that can change the world? And then the other thing is responsibility. We need to be very responsible for our own actions and to own up to that. And then the last one is fairness. We need to be fair to all our members, or to all our, you know, the people that we are for, the people that are following us, because that really, that is what brings that umbrella of an organization. So basically, that's all that I can say. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you for your input and resonate. Hope they're all resonating with you and giving you passion to move forward within your life as well. Very important. Guys, thank you for the exercise and sharing your values and putting them down. And as the last person came on there, empathy is so important as a conscious leader. Not sympathy, but empathy. How do you resonate with, have an empathy with someone? If someone is talking within a situation, think back to something that you can resonate with you in a you know, when you were younger or in a different situation, and that's where you can empathize with them. The biggest thing with a lot of people as well when we are speaking, we hear, but we don't listen. And most people, when they're telling a story or bringing something across, the other person on the other side, they're not listening. All they're doing is waiting to say the next thing that they feel is of value within the conversation. And it's important as a conscious leader to stop, recognize, acknowledge, and understand what the other person is saying, choosing to listen between the lines of the message that they're saying, and then share what your feelings or your thoughts are within the conversation. Make eye contact when you're speaking to someone and listen. These are so important. They're basic rules that we learned when we were children. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and when I'm speaking to her, I look her in the eye, because if I don't, she disappears. But these are the simple things. And when you're talking to someone in your organization, or you're speaking to your colleague at work, they could be having a really, really bad day, because we only know 25% of what's going on in a person's life. That 75% could be they're stressed out, their anxiety, there's trouble at home, they're having financial situations. There could be a multiple of things that are going on, but they're not willing to share. And it's not for them to share with you. But when you're in those conversations with people as a leader, you have to take all this into consideration. And when speaking to someone, understand that there could be something else going on in their lives. And it's called respect and understanding. We need more and more leaders. We need more and more conscious leaders. Because the world is changing, and people are looking at questioning political, social, economical, medical systems right across the world. And there's a huge divide going on in the world. You can see it, the one side splitting with the other. And if you're a conscious leader, you're going to walk that line between both sides and accept everybody's point of view, understand it, and help them then make better decisions and make you, your company, your organization, your family, your life, everybody, better decisions. And before I wrap up and go into a Q&A, I want to just leave you with this one thing. Live in the moment. Live in the moment. Don't live your day from what's happened to you in the past. Because the past might have brought up fear, doubt, anxiety, trouble, which brings an energy into the moment, which then affects you in your day-to-day of living in the moment. Don't be thinking of the future, because when you think of the future, you'll never get anywhere. Because when you're thinking of the future, all you're doing is always just thinking in the future. It never happens. Live in the moment and make every step count. So how do you have a successful future? You have a successful future by doing what you can do right now in the moment to make that step forward. Inspired action is the best action that you can actually do. Not forced, inspired. Be grateful for your family and the friends that you have. And all the world that's in turmoil and things are getting crazy. If you just live in the moment that you have now and respect and love your family and follow your values, let the world fall around you. It's okay, because you'll be following in the moment, removed from the head and following from your heart. Because when the head and the heart come together, when you live in that moment, it's a joyful, joyful experience. So I hope you all become conscious leaders and make decisions, not for you, but for the greater good of everyone around you and your team. And if that happens, you, your team, your organization, your life will be very, very successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Much appreciated. I know you kindly said you were open to a Q&A, so I'm going to push it out to the floor if anyone has any questions. If you want, you can type them in the chat box, or I feel like we could probably let people voice them.
Let people voice them.
Properly.
I just realized I have pink marker on my glasses. I was wondering what that was.
You're seeing spots, Joe.
I have one question, and that's regard these values. At the company that I work for, they have also values, and they try to embrace these values to us as an employee to really live through these values, and they say that it can set culture. Do you see more and more companies doing that to really set the culture throughout certain values that they put out to their employees?
A lot of companies use values as mission statements. I remember I was doing a talk once and I put up a mission statement to the organization and I asked them what was this, and nobody knew. And then I told them it was their mission statement on their website. So it gave a bit of a laugh within the organization. But yes, if a company, some people just write things and put them on paper. But if it's the organization has the values, it builds better culture. And your values then have to be how they resonate and feel with you. Within a culture of a company, it's creative culture. And everyone in that organization, if everyone is willing to share their values and understand what the other person is feeling or accepting, that company will thrive. There's just something came up with me as you talked about the company. And I want to talk about toxicity. If there is someone in a company that's toxic, the company should get rid of them. I've seen organizations where they've had great salespeople or great people who are doing the numbers, but they're toxic to everybody else. And even though they're bringing in X amount and they're great, when that person left or was asked to leave the organization, the rest of the people in that company had a breath of relief and it thrived. Because it's important as a collective to have everyone happy. The only thing that we need to do in work, in our collective, in our companies, is to be happy, to be joyful. Like life, when I was in my 20s, I remember I was a workaholic 7 days a week and everything was work. And we had, organizations where people ran us by fear and then do this or you're fired or, best person forward. And there was a competitive edge, but it wasn't fun. But if you get an organization and everybody is fun and laughter and joy, isn't it a pleasurable place to work? So going back to your question, if the company's values represent how you feel and stand for, yeah. But if you question them or they're not following them, why not ask them? Why not ask them?
Wonderful. Thank you, Joe, and thank you for the question. We have one in the chat about unconscious values, how to find out about them, or I don't know what your opinion is of them, Joe. Do we have unconscious values?
Unconscious values is, there's no real, unconscious value is there's the ego. So drive into, it's in, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? You know, if you look about leaders who are, say not, who are unconscious, they make the decisions out of greed. They make the decision about, you know, gaining. What can I gain out of this? You know, judging. We've seen it, bullying. We've seen people, you know, doing stuff so they can get the win over. When you really want to focus in on your values or being conscious. Who popped that up? What was the person's name?
Wallet, I want to say.
Wallet. Question I have for you. Anytime you make a decision or want to talk to people within your organization, I want you to try this. I want everyone to try this. I want you to get out of your head. And I want you to put your hand, your right hand, on your heart. And I want you to hold it on it and think it for a second. And then talk to someone, or write that email, or make a comment. But focusing on your heart instead of your head. Because when you focus on your heart, things come out a lot softer. Things come out a lot easier. Things come out more pleasant. So when you're doing something and making that decision, just step back for a second and go, am I doing this conscious or unconscious?
Wonderful. Let me see what other comments we have. Catherine says, a good tool on Dr. John DeMartini's website to help determine values if anyone is interested in looking into their values further. Wonderful. Obviously, lots of thank yous for yourself, Joe. Before I go any further, I do want to say a very big thank you for some wonderful tips on conscious leadership skills. Personally, I did enjoy looking at the difference between the conscious, the not conscious for both the leaders and the values. But one of the things I found most interesting was that we have people from all over the globe, all corners of the world, as they say, but some of the values came up repeatedly, which is great to see. And obviously they were all positive values, which is even better to see, words such as respect and integrity. So it's heartwarming as such. So I'm not sure if anyone has any more questions. If not, I'll wrap up and let Joe go back to the garden.
Look, before I wrap up, just quickly, there's two things. Live your life joyfully and love. That's it. I live my life joyful and love. I do go from Zen to zero, where my kids might drive me mad and myself, my wife, and we shoot down from Zen to zero. But that's okay. We're human. But just, you know, follow your heart, follow your passion, and love yourself.
Well, thank you, Joe. That's definitely a wonderful way to finish the session. You are more than welcome to stay. We have some videos coming up, but obviously we don't want to be taking you away from the decking and the children as well. We can't just them. For the rest of my delegates, don't go anywhere. We do have some interludes coming up next, some poetry and Irish videos. And one more further reminder that some of the questions at the pub quiz will be based on the interlude videos. So pay close attention. And our next session will be at 7:10 European time, which is 6:10 Irish time. And we'll have Cormac O'Malley with us at that stage, who is a former sports journalist and a Gaelic football player. and he'll be joining us to talk about the GAA. So that is all from myself. I will, one more time, Míle buíochas, Joe. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Delighted. And if anyone wants to connect with me on LinkedIn, perfect.
Thank you so much. And I'll pass back over to our lovely host, Laura.
Take care.
Thank you so much, Colleen. Now we're gonna have a look at the end of the session. And to be more specific, the quiz is going to be, some of the questions are gonna be from the Irish myths. So have a look at those.